Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. When we sit down and listen to Jehovah's Witnesses talks, we analyze the talks because sometimes their talks sometimes make sense, but if you know the history of Jehovah's Witnesses, you can put two together and realize there is more hidden from this talk. And Jehovah's Witnesses that don't remember their past or don't know the past, they think this would be an ordinary talk. So I'm going to play it and we'll take it from there.
Now let's talk about it as Jehovah's Witnesses. You see, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we felt that we had pretty well freed ourselves from this world. We sort of had a bulwark built around us, a wall. We've been successful in resisting the spirit of the world. And to a large degree, we had as an organization. But then, during the 1970s, something began to happen that was apparent at our world headquarters in Brooklyn, New York. Letters began coming in from all parts of the world that during the 1970s, something had begun to happen to Jehovah's Witnesses. And where we were so proud that we had resisted the spirit of the world, we found that we had chinks in our armor and there were cracks in the wall. And that we weren't so impervious to the spirit of the world after all. Reports began to flood into world headquarters, and some among Jehovah's Witnesses that had been married for years, 25, 30, 35 years, were suddenly separating from their mates, getting divorces, and remarrying. Shocking, unheard of. But evidently, some sort of a spirit of permissiveness had begun to enter our organization. You know, this recent Awake magazine we've had these 8 issues about from 1914, and it got into the Awake article on the 60s. It talked about the 3 wars, the Cold War, the Vietnam War, and the War of Protest, during which time there began to be an era of, do your thing, think for yourself, so to speak. And different lifestyles began to appear. And Jehovah's Witnesses found themselves vulnerable. Some sort of a window had been opened. Reports coming into our world headquarters had indicated that not only were witnesses getting divorces and leaving their mates, but some were going back to loose conduct, excessive use of alcohol. Some got wrapped up in get-rich-quick schemes and even some questionable business schemes that bordered on embezzlement and other forms of dishonesty, all in the interest of commercialism. And scores of thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses were being disfellowshipped during the 1970s. We had reported some years earlier in the Watchtower that we had...
I'm going to stop it there. Was Jehovah's Witnesses in the thousands was going out committing adultery, divorcing their husbands? Well, if that was true, it's because husbands was not pleasing their wife in a romantic way, because Watchtower at that time had the control of the bedroom. So husbands and wives didn't get what they want to have fantasies of making love. So they went out looking for different locations or different people. And some of us making, what do you say, the word, advancements of quick schemes of making money and all that. Isn't that what the Watchtowers are doing today? They're bleeding Jehovah's Witnesses out of their money, thinking that the money's going on preaching work, but it's going on buying land, motels, all kinds of places, money in stocks, bonds, and all that? I mean, if Watchtower had all money in stocks and bonds, why are you keep asking for more money from Jehovah's Witnesses? Which it's hard for them to make a living if someone has a husband has 3 kids and a wife, and you expect him to give you $100, $200 a month to donate to the Watchtower. But the main point I got out of this 1970s, that they was getting letters to Brooklyn that something major was going on in the organization. Duh! It was. The failure of 1975. Because Armageddon was supposed to start. And Freddie Franz has this beautiful, wonderful talk about Armageddon was going to start. I think it was September or October of 1975. And 1976 was supposed to start. That's what, to me, the truth was. And they was using this other stuff just to cover, like smoke and mirrors, to make Jehovah's Witnesses believe that all the witnesses at that time was committing adultery, fornication, all that. I got a question. Why would all these people would have did all that stuff when they known that in 1975 the world was going to end? Why would good people would want to jeopardize their marriage, jeopardize their relationship for their God Jehovah and his earthly organization? All they had was 5 more years. 5 more years for Armageddon to start. I don't think nobody would. If it was, it wouldn't have been over thousands of people, and they wouldn't be writing that tons of letters about problems in their organization. Watchtower, if you had a problem in your organization because of that, shouldn't you analyze why people was leaving their marriages, why people was committing adultery? Maybe because you're sticking your nose into their bedrooms, telling them how to have sex, how to make love, what part of their body that the other person allowed to touch or not to touch. You're the problem why witnesses is going out committing all these things, because they don't get the pleasure from their own mate or their companion because of you. And the truth in 1976, yes, there was thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses leaving this organization. And there was letters was sent to y'all wanting why and what happened to Armageddon. Those are the true letters that y'all got. Not someone committed adultery and everything, the crimes that you put on this audio. It was because you lied about the world was going to end in 1975. There's all your letters. Heck, I would have wrote a letter. My parents, all of them would have wrote a letter. If I'd known about 1975, 100%, but I only knew bits and pieces because it wasn't brought up in my kingdom, hardly none. So, there's your truth, people. Smoke and mirrors and Jehovah's Witnesses cover up. about in the 1970s. Just like the smoke and mirrors, what they have done all these years and years past 75, before 75. People, you have to analyze these crazy, stupid talks to see the real truth. Otherwise, you're going to be blind. And you're going to shut off your mind when someone brings you the truth, shows you the truth. No one in the right mind would have did that much evil in a Jehovah's Witnesses religion over thousands of people when you have just 4 more years after 1975. Well, 5 years. Because remember, 1975, the world was going to end. Armageddon. People, it's time to wake up. It's time to get out of this false religion. Thank you, and have a nice day.